Hi everyone, my name is Ashani Yapa and I'm from Sirus Migration. In today's video, I'm going to talk about all the temporary visa options available to parents of Australian citizens, permanent residents and eligible New Zealand residents. There are two types of visas available for your parents, permanent visas and temporary visas. But just to keep it simple, I'm going to explain the temporary visas in this video and I'm going to do a separate video for permanent visas. The most common visa people use to bring their parents to Australia is a visitor visa. Subclass 600 visitor visa is one of the most common visa types available to your parents. There are two different streams of visitor visa available to parents of Australian citizens. The first type is the Subclass 600 tourist stream. The second is the Subclass 600 visitor visa family-sponsored stream. Tourist stream visa is processed from the country where the applicant lives, which means it's processed offshore. And the family-sponsored stream is processed from Australia. In the family-sponsored stream, the department puts more weight on the sponsor or the Australian child than the applicant, whereas in the tourist stream application, the department will look at the applicant's financial background, social background, and ties to go back home or incentives to return. Tourist stream visa can be granted for up to 12 months, but the family-sponsored stream will usually be granted only for 3 months. Family-sponsored stream visitor visa will come with no further stay conditions, where the applicant must return at the end of the visa validity period. Now you can see, even though it's the same subclass, two different streams are quite different, and it's important to lodge the visitor visa through the right stream every time, depending on your situation. The other temporary visa available to parents is the Subclass 870 Sponsored Parent Temporary Visa. As long as one of their children is an Australian permanent resident or a citizen, parents can apply for this visa. Visa is available for either 3 years or 5 years. Again, as you can see, the visa is quite costly, but the good thing compared to the visitor visa is that the parents do not have to leave after a short period of time. They can continuously stay in Australia for the 3 years or 5 years. The maximum period a parent can stay in Australia using this visa is only up to 10 years. The visa holders cannot work, and they are not eligible for Medicare, and you must maintain adequate health insurance at all times. Also, another catch with this visa is you can only sponsor 2 parents for a household. You cannot lodge a new sponsorship application until your current approved sponsorship ends. Please note, Subclass 870 visa has 2 steps. First, sponsor must lodge the sponsorship application. Once it's approved, then the visa application can be lodged within the 6 months. Important tip, Subclass 870 visa usually an offshore application, which means the applicant must be offshore at the time of lodgement. But there is an option to ask for permission to lodge the visa onshore once you lodge your sponsorship application, given that there are compelling and compassionate reasons why the applicant cannot travel offshore. Lastly, in order to sponsor a parent for a Subclass 870 Sponsored Parent Temporary Visa, sponsor must show that they're a suitable sponsor, which means you are an Australian citizen or an Australian permanent resident, usually resident in Australia for the last 4 years, or an eligible New Zealand citizen, usually resident in Australia for the last 4 years. And you have not been unlawful or held a bridging visa other than a bridging A, B or C during the last 4 years. If you are sponsoring your partner's parents, your partner must also be an Australian citizen, Australian permanent resident or a New Zealand citizen. You must have met and complied with any previous sponsorship obligations, have no debts to the Australian government, and meet the character requirements and agree to comply with the sponsorship obligations. Finally, you must pass the income test. To pass the income test, your taxable income for the most recent completed taxable income year prior to the date of lodgement of the sponsorship application must be at least equal to or greater than Australian dollars $83,454.80. If you can't pass the test by yourself, you can combine your taxable income with your partner or another child of the prospective visa applicant who's an Australian citizen, a permanent resident, or an eligible New Zealand citizen. If you're combining your income, your taxable income must be at least 50% of the taxable income amount specified above. I hope this information helps you to find the right temporary visa for your parents, depending on your situation. If you need help with any of these visas, please feel free to get in touch with us. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.